Oh, look at all that meat. That's enough to feed a family. Well, hello there, friends. It is Sunday, February 14th, 2021. About noon. Well, happy Valentine's Day, right? I honestly almost completely forgot that it was even Valentine's Day. Hopefully you have someone. If not, hopefully it's not bothering you too much, right? I used to be, if you've been watching me for any amount of time, and if you are somebody who not exactly successful with meeting the ladies, this is usually a time when you're supposed to be very sad and it's all up on your head and how you hate it and how it reminds you of how you're alone and you have nobody. But I used to be that way, but that time has come and gone, folks. I think just the repetition, and eventually you just get used to it, right? Where being alone is your normal state, that it just doesn't really bother you as much. So I don't really have any big rambles about that. It is what it is. It just feels like, well, oh, Valentine's Day, is it already that time of the year? I didn't even really notice. So yeah, there's not really much to say about that. It is freezing. At least the sun came up. Snowed a bit, not too bad, but mostly just freezing. I think this whole week is supposed to be cold. Warms up a little bit tomorrow, I bet. And I think later tonight we're going to use this firewood that we've had for a while in the fireplace. So that'll be nice and comfy. And I might go for a little walk. Not too much, don't want to freeze too much, but get a little fresh air. Today's service was pretty good. Not as many people. I mean, understandably on a day like this, it's freezing and cold out. But nice and comfy. Didn't see Dave to chat to, but just made a little small talk with some people here and there. The primary thing though is starting to feel comfortable and at home, if that makes sense. I don't feel like, I don't know, maybe I'm just getting used to it all. You just feel comfortable, like, and maybe people see that you're a regular, you're actually like serious about coming in, not like you just drop in once or twice and then they never see you again. People kind of look at you and make a little whatever acknowledgement. So it's good. You only got one bag of antiduron, the holy bread. Hey, can I get some dipping sauce with this, Father? No. So I just ate the whole thing. I should have saved half of it for my mom. But I'll make up for it by I'll go get her some flowers after. As that is a little bit like I'd so completely forgotten about the holiday that I barely even said anything to my mom about it. It was like, oh geez, I should say something to her, right? Yeah, I'll go pick up go to a grocery store, get her some flowers, and see if there's anything else that looks, maybe there's some meat on sale too. The sermon was about, I think, Jesus and the Canaanite woman and something he said to her that's difficult to, don't give the bread that's meant for the children to the dogs, and just the interpretations of that and the challenges. But see, here I am talking about it and can't explain it. I'm so bad at this. Never really read the Bible much myself, just little bits and pieces. I'm barely just making my way through Matthew right now. I'm just awful, completely awful. But yeah, anyway, that's that. I did actually try to go to some weekday services now that I'm kind of feeling more comfortable, all this kind of stuff. So I'm enjoying this time slot that I'm going to on Sundays. You know, you're kind of seeing regulars, this and that. So yeah, I'll check out some of the weekdays. So it's good, folks. I'm glad I kind of stuck to it and didn't like, oh, let me try another church or something. Just, it's, as I mentioned, like I wouldn't even know what to look for. And said, you got to stay long enough to just start getting comfortable and just knowing, just know, like when you're so new to all of it, I don't know what to, truly don't know what to look for. So it's good. You know, it is exciting about the possibility later on in the year, you know, maybe as they do more in-person stuff, just like more of the fellowship where it's not, I don't know, you can like sit down in like a room somewhere, have a little coffee, a treat or something, and actually talk to people, not stand outside in the cold and try to make a little small talk or something. So I'm excited. It's hopefully going to be a good summer and multiple things, you know, just planting the seeds for later this year. That precarious time, kind of trying to keep a fire going during a snowstorm, a fire in the snow, so to speak. You make just, is this the most critical time? I don't know, but it's certainly a very important time that it's taken you years and years and years to finally build up this little smidgen, this little mustard seed of willpower with everything between weight loss and some sort of coding and just this and that. And you run into a setback, right? You run into a setback with everything and how unbelievably easy to give up and quit and stop and go backwards and lose it all just like that. And just how unbelievably precious, even if it's just you crawling, even if it's just you doing a little bit of something, to not go backwards and not give up. And keep tending to the flame, to the fire. Don't let it go out, because you don't know if you'll be able to light it again. So I'm hoping, folks, just hoping and praying, planting seeds for later this year, you know, between feeling better and just being able to hang out with people more and just go out and do things. I think Admiral Xiphos was insistent on we should do stuff during the summer. Yeah, man, I do. I want to hang out again and actually like not hide away this time, but also, you know, just hoping to feel better enough between everything to do stuff. And, you know, between closures and lockdowns, maybe some of this stuff, I mean, who knows? Things will ease up and get better, but who knows? You know, we don't need to get into it. And then just consistently making it, even if it's right now minor, some sort of progress with the coding, so that later this year, you know, you can start looking for meetups and join people and hopefully get together and learn and just be around human beings. Even if anything, man, just do some traveling. Just check out Colorado myself. Check out places to start getting away from these freaking four walls or this little tiny place that you know you only go in this small like little circle of geographic area, and that's where you exist. I'm telling you, man, this year of like work from home, you know, stay home, stay safe, don't go anywhere, don't do anything. It's definitely realized, like I said, I very much realized that I in fact do not dislike people as much as maybe, not as antisocial as maybe as I thought, that all it takes is, well, now you don't have to go anywhere or do anything, and you find out, it's kind of like be careful what you wish for. When you get it, you might just get it and you might find out that, wow, this actually really sucks. And all the complaining and stuff that I used to do back when I was working with people and all that, and oh, you have a tough day or this or that, and how you hate the whatever, blah, blah. And you find out that is not actually the truth. I did kind of put in there's stuff going on at work. We'll see. It seems like they're kind of waking up from hibernation a bit, so I did kind of throw out the possibility, hey, there's the opportunity to go up to full-time. I'd be happy to take it and do the best I can to help everyone out and all that. So yeah, I probably got to start breaking out of this whole work part-time, and just make these empty threats of how you'll do this or you'll do that. And you can work full-time and still do your studies, at the very least make some more money. So we shall see. I can't believe I'm saying this too, folks. I don't know when, I don't know where, but when things are better, whatever that ultimately means, I actually wouldn't mind doing some kind of traveling to Moscow, Tokyo. I don't know, man. See something else somewhere else. Something besides your own four walls, besides the internet, besides just, I go to this store or that store and I go here or there. Just see something else. So, yeah. Keeping it going, tending to the fire each and every day and week. I feel like my thinking has been kind of breaking down from constantly being obsessed with these big, broad topics and subjects, and it's still there, but it has now. I have found myself getting more into that day-to-day little thinking of okay, what do I got going on today? What obligations do I have? What do I need to get done at work if I work? What can I do now that I need to in my own studies and stuff? Just that little foot forward each day. Which I don't like to think that way. I'm a lot more, big pie in the sky, big head in the clouds kind of ideas. So it's probably good, right? It's not exciting. Of how do you break all of that down into kind of this daily thing where you're actually taking some sort of a step forward? Your head in the clouds is great and all, and thinking of things in these big, broad concepts. It's not exactly a great way to get anything done either, right? It's going to be good for motivation, but it's also what kind of steps are you getting there, even if it's not much, to actually get to there, not just you get excited once and you have a good day and then you do nothing again for months. So definitely been something's happening with the back stuff. I'm not trying to get overly excited, this and that. It's kind of been ebb and flow, good day, bad day, good day, bad day. Just doing multiple things, never being clear what's working, what's helping or not. Everybody has their own opinions. Everybody's got their own method and all that. But something is definitely getting better. So I'm just like I said, I certainly appreciate the prayers. Trying to pray for you folks too, but it's, I don't. So many people. Trying to think of it as a broad term. The chiropractor showed me the x-rays, the usual mean, I could, point it out, the upper back, or like this upper spine thing, you've got misalignments. The neck generally looks good, but the lower part of it seems more straight and doesn't have a nice curve, and the lower back looks the most messed up. But he's very confident we can fix it. In his opinion, that's where it's coming from. The stuff is misaligned and stuff is pulling and tugging on each other. I guess it sort of makes sense, but he's got his own, they've got their own approach with that. And I will say, though, and it makes sense, I'm not surprised that my lower back looked the worst. It was like kind of curved and then twisted a little bit. So yeah, I mean, with the lower back stuff I've had, I wouldn't be surprised that it looked like that. I didn't even need having to point anything out. When I was looking at the x-ray, I was like, whoa, that looks kind of messed up. The only thing I will say is that the little thing that he had me stand on for the x-rays, for some of it, was not particularly comfortable to stand on. So I'm a little dubious of how bad that actually is, and how much of it wasn't from like, hey man, it's kind of having a hard time standing on this. So, I'm a little like, okay, but I just figure it doesn't really cost me much. It's a quick visit. I can go for a bit and we'll see. So I'm not really sure if I'm feeling anything from it, but so yeah. Did that Tuesday and Thursday. On Wednesday, I believe, or maybe Tuesday, one of those days, I had just had another massage. And according to the massage therapist, like, we kind of found the spot where a lot of this, like, adhesions and stuff are, where a lot of the source of this, it's like, I mean, it's along that line of where you generally see trigger points, but there's one spot where you've got your shoulder blade, like maybe this is the bottom part, this is the upper part, and there's that sort of spine area. There's muscle above and all the muscle below. It's like around here towards like right off the shoulder blade right here, where I could just like point and touch it with my fingers, where it just feels like it's a particularly sensitive spot. Like afterwards, definitely went home and something felt different. The area just felt very, very inflamed, which would make perfect sense. You figure you do like a pretty intense massage, but also if you're taking this area where stuff has been gunked up and whatever for so long, and you're going in there and breaking it up and loosening it all up, it would make sense that, yeah, it's probably going to feel a little weird. So, to ice a whole bunch that night. I was sort of able to sleep. Couldn't find, it definitely felt like, okay, feels better laying down, but you still feel like you're laying on something that's kind of right there, that's taking up your mental space, making it hard to actually relax and not think about. Thursday was okay-ish. Friday was okay, but I remember later into that day, just, I don't know if I was like poking it too much, but it really started to feel sore and swollen. And I actually decided to do an acupuncture appointment just to try it out. I found this like pretty cool, like, I don't know, middle-aged Chinese lady who's been doing it for a long time. And I showed her everything, and she was very, very confident in her. She was like, oh, I can easily fix this. I said it. And she was like, oh, I can see you've been doing massages and stuff like that. You got to be careful with those. It turns into, it was a little bit of that thing where like everyone you go to has their own thing, and you almost don't know what to believe. But yeah, she was cool. We did, I pointed to her everything, showed the one spot. I said she seemed very, very confident in her. I mean, which I guess makes sense, right? I mean, if you've been doing something for a while, at some point you probably are like, okay, I know what to do here. She didn't go too deep. She So I guess you could see that there was swelling and stuff and not overdo it. Did some hot cupping too. I think hers was like the real actual stuff, or like the, is it like the cotton ball or something for the heat in there, not like the suction ones. And I went home. Back felt pretty rough. I think I iced it like 4 times. Could not find a way to sleep until probably halfway through the night. I just remember laying down in my bed on my stomach and feeling like I fell asleep, and that kind of sleep where you kind of drool too. Not to get explicit, you know. I think I woke up on Saturday feeling pretty good, actually. It was kind of, so it was one of those, well, was it the acupuncture and the this? Or was it because I laid down on my stomach in my bed and finally it reached that point where I wasn't pressing into it somehow and tossing and turning? Was it the massage also taking effect? Was it everything combined together finally taking effect? So I did have that feeling of like, man, this was feeling pretty rough. Yeah, I just got some sleep on my stomach, and I kind of accepted the whole, you know, all these visits that I keep going to places, you know, they've got their little massage table you lay on or whatever with like little face cut out. And yeah, you lay down, your back isn't, you're like, oh, that rhomboid upper back area isn't touching anything. And it just feels so great. So I kind of decided, all right, well, not a stomach sleeper. Kind of hate this. I used to be long ago, and then I had to train myself to sleep on my back because that felt better. Now I have to do the complete opposite, and now I guess I'll just try to sleep on my stomach best as I can and see, and because that seems to be the only thing at night that I can kind of like lay down and not be pressing and pushing into something. So last night, Saturday, usually I stay up to just try to get more and more tired, but I think even at 10 something, I just like fell asleep. I think I kind of found a way to make laying on my stomach and try to sleep work a bit by putting a pillow under this side and one over here, so that way I don't have to like crank my neck this way, you know. So yeah, I guess that's that. I'll be doing that for now. So yeah, it's, I don't know. It's like, well, what finally did it? Or was it everything together? I don't know. I'm just grateful that something seems to be moving in a better direction. Oh man, after a month and a half. So maybe just truly everything combined together and focusing on standing up more. And when I do sit, just like trying to use the lumbar roll and just watching my posture. And yeah, I think now laying on my stomach to try to sleep is going to be the way to go, and hopefully combined together now, it kind of allows everything to really take effect. So, I did a bunch of JavaScript and the DOM, the document object model. It's like getting into more of that practical stuff of JavaScript where you're creating elements, selecting elements, adding event listeners. When I click this button, have it do this. It's that like, all right, good, finally something other than just creating variables and that basic programming stuff. And I'm giving myself a challenge, folks. Since tomorrow's a holiday and just the way it lines up with my days off, you get this little chunk of time off. And you just, which I'm unbelievably grateful for, again, just to mentally not have to think about work for a bit. And since this is getting better and that mental RAM is clearing up a little bit, that it's kind of time to now actually, all right, start getting your head off of it onto something else, because it's actually getting easier to do that. So I'm going to try to finish up. No, not try to. I will, folks. I'm giving myself a challenge, so you can hold me accountable for next Sunday's video to actually finish the front the front dev, front end development little track. I'm like at that last bit. I think it says that I have 12 hours left to go. Now, according to I think like the length of the videos is how it is. Like, I mean, I got between this and that, just that final push, man. Get it done, and revel in that little bit of a completion of something. And then actually, I got to start trying to make stuff again, like little projects, not just be following tutorials. But yeah, I feel like I'm right there, and now I need to kind of make that little push and get that done finally. So that is my challenge for this week. You can hold me accountable. I mean, I don't know what you get at the end of it. If you get like a little trophy or something on there, a little achievement, I'll show it to you. So that will be my challenge with coding for this week. I know I've had people tell me to look into blockchain programming. I think that you can do that with JavaScript. I definitely want to look into that. So if you know any good resources, let me know. I don't know anything about that, but it seems like a good way to like learn and do something with JavaScript. So if you know any good tutorials and videos with blockchain with JavaScript, let me know. I figure it would not be, if anything, just increase your skills with JavaScript. Ukrainian immigrant learns JavaScript. I'm thinking of that joke from Paradigm 2070, whatever, of the... Never mind. You probably know what I mean. So yeah, that's where things are at. As I said, little by little, tending to the fire in the snow. Definitely days where you feel like you're in a cold, snowy forest, desperately not trying to let the fire go out. I started getting close. I got close, didn't I? Felt that weakness, started to crack, but got pulled back away from it. Okay, now let's do a little Q&A. All right, I'm not gonna, let's see, can I turn off rotation? Okay, there we go. Oh, I'm not gonna read this person's email. They didn't provide like a nickname or anything, so you know who you are. Mr. S-word. You know who you are. It's cheeky breaky. All right. Hello. All right. There's a number of questions in this email. So let's see. Hello. Do you think you still have social anxiety? Not particularly. It's kind of hard to have social anxiety when you've been doing customer service for years, right? It's one of those things where, man, when I was a teenager, instead of spending a summer playing video games, how I wished I would have just gotten a job at a grocery store and just like force myself to interact with human beings. How difficult, but how unbelievably beneficial that would have been for me. Not waiting until you're the age of 28, almost 30, to actually begin trying to interact with people. I mean, I'm not like Mr. Personality, but I don't really have that issue. There is the general, like when you meet new people, there is a little bit of like a hesitation and just like, what are you going to talk to them about? How receptive are they? Like crowds of people are a bit tougher, especially when they're in conversation, to just like go in and like, oh, hey, let me interrupt your conversation and start talking to you. But generally, no, not anymore. It's just that tendency where sometimes you just don't want to talk to people, right? But no. Like I said, when you do something for a while, and you stick to those early tough times. I mean, not unlike cultivating a little fire during, a snowstorm. Let's going with this analogy. Eventually, it's that you do kind of get over it, and it's kind of hard to still have that anxiety. You seem to look embarrassed while talking in your car to your phone with people around, even though many talk to their phone nowadays or to their headsets. No, I don't know. For me, it's not too bad. It's just, is it loud, and is it going to, like, how much of it is going to come across on camera? And when you do sit in your car and you ramble, you do kind of notice stuff here and there. And there is, generally, people walk by or this or that, and you don't really pay attention to that. But once in a while, you see something that is kind of weird. Like the one evening that I was recording, there's just somebody in this giant truck where they've got their headlights on, so you can't see them, but they can clearly see you, that they're just like circling around. That little stuff like that just sets something off in you where you're like, wait, what was going on there? It's not embarrassment. It's just weird stuff that you notice. I was like, what is going on? And sometimes you do, not to get vulgar, you do sometimes see a lady or something. It's kind of hard not to take a quick peek. Do you actually enjoy having conversations with people, as opposed to having learned the basic social scripts and just going over it with others? You don't seem to form strong personal connections with new people. I wonder if you don't allow yourself to be vulnerable to others, or if you just bore them. There's only so much eating, walking around, and talking one can do. Got to do something else together. I mean, I do and I don't. It's kind of an ebb and flow of how I feel about it. Sometimes, it does feel like you're going through these social obligations. Sometimes you do enjoy, it's like, because you want to be nice to others, right, and not make them feel uncomfortable. Sometimes you do enjoy it, right, depending on how you're feeling and depending on what you're talking about. It all depends on the day, on the conversation, sometimes it's for yourself, sometimes it is for others. I mean, I do have a tendency to sometimes, this is what I struggle with, when it kind of just feels like you're listening to somebody else talk. And I realize there's a time and place for that. You want to be in that position where you want to listen to somebody and like let them, they may have a lot to say and they just need somebody to listen. I'm happy to do that, right? And, learn something too, whatever, I don't know. But I do kind of find that my limit for that stuff eventually starts to set in, and I am like, all right, I'm just kind of listening to somebody just kind of talks at me, and I'm just going, yeah, I do hit points where I kind of struggle with that, and I'm like, all right, I kind of don't, I need a break. I know with the Slavic lady, that was a bit of it there, where she sure enjoyed talking at me. And I think I was like, oh God, what am I doing? I said, I'm not trying to be like, everybody out there has experience with that, right? I'm sure everyone has had social interactions like that. There's a time and a place for that, but I do find these days that I have a short limit for that kind of stuff now. Up to a point, right? Well, I don't know. Do you still hang out with your Afghani friend? We've been talking more. We've been trying to plan out on a day to hang out with his new schedule at his new job and with mine. It makes it a little tough. I did install, if you saw in one of the videos, Dead Space 3. Like, I haven't played anything, but long ago, about 6 or 7 years ago, we played that and never finished it. And it was one of those, it was like a fun co-op game that we thought like, well, let's get this installed and we should actually play through this. This might be something fun to do, a little distraction, but we got to set up a time to hang out again. He's doing all right. He's got set up at Kroger. It's not the most glorious thing, but it's a union job. He's got good hours, decent pay, got benefits now. He's able to actually like be around human beings and all that. So as I said, I'm very happy for him. It seems like the thing that he needed after like just years of just a lot of these kind of, I don't know, positions that weren't going anywhere, and inconsistency with hours. It is finally like this thing that's been helpful for him. So I'm very happy for him. I truly treasure his friendship. It's now been like, 14 or 15 years since we've known each other, since our early days in the library. He's, I've kind of gone back and forth because there's been difficult times where, he's struggling with the alcohol, or it's kind of like, man, I don't know, is this going to last? Is this going to just eventually go away? But I don't think so. I think he's one of those people that I'll always sort of be friends with. And yeah, it's a little bit of that, like, man, the people that you see come and go in life, just having somebody that you've known for so long, and you can get together and talk, even if it's not very often, and how you can just, it feels like you're brought back to life a little bit. And reminded of just like those happy, good times in life that you had. Do you think the homilies help, or the sermons? So far, it seems so. I mean, it's always kind of given me some sort of food for thought, so I feel like it's a little bit of something to make you think that I have enjoyed them. So it's not like you haven't read any of the stuff they talk about for many years. Did you start attending church to move away from the occult stuff? Hope your back feels better. Thank you. Get an MRI of your back. I got an MRI back in 2013. I spent about $900 something, and they didn't find anything wrong. So which was good, right? But also well, where is this like pain coming from? And it's just, well, if we had to guess, who knows? Blah, blah, that wonderful side of it. Let's see. I guess I never quite answered it last time, but I'll give you an honest answer with the church stuff. I mean, coming from Eastern Europe, it is kind of part of your, I don't know, tradition, culture. For us, we were never too serious about it. It was more of a cultural, maybe / superstitious thing on my parents' end. I don't know if that's a good example of it. So in 2019, when I started having health problems and sleep problems, and let's just say some other things happened that I'm not going to talk about. A number of things happened. And my mom just had this really bad feeling of like, man, it's almost like somebody put a curse on you or something. My mom's one of those people who does kind of like, she'll have weird dreams and then start wondering what exactly does that mean. So take it for what you will. She'll even like have just some friends that from Iraq that we've known for a long time. Just the husbands got pretty bad health problems, but also the husband totally like treated the wife pretty awful. And at the end of all that, she's the only one left, like looking after him. I think it was like cheated on her and all that. I think they were from northern Iraq, but my mom has known her for a while. I mean, we used to go to their house and all that. So the husband was able to make a bunch of money during the Iraq war by like going in with troops as a like an interpreter and stuff. But yeah, it was kind of did not treat the wife very well. They never did have any kids, but and even she she'll talk to my mom, and she'll like talk about her dreams and all that. So, I don't know. My mom's, it's her thing. I'm not here to be like, I don't have any dreams, so I'm not here to like, but that is a thing of hers. So I don't know, call it superstition, call it whatever you want. But yeah, she was like, I don't know, it feels like somebody put a curse on you or something like that. Just all this stuff happened at once. Something's weird. And I think my dad said like, oh, you should go to church and get some holy water and buy a cross and stuff. And I just remember at that point, it had been weeks, you're feeling like utter garbage. And you're not sleeping, and you don't know what's wrong, and you go to people, and they don't know what's wrong, and you describe everything, and it all sounds, nobody, it's like, oh, that's weird. That was kind of like, man, I don't know, something's wrong with me. You start getting a taste. You start getting that taste of just mortality, and how you're not invincible. I don't know, that I'm like, all right, well, I just went to church, got a cross. It's this one. It's the one I wear now. A little right there. And I don't know, from there, just kind of a renewed interest in that stuff for some reason, for a number of reasons. Once I started feeling better enough, I made that like one attempt to go to church and then completely spurged out and then didn't do anything for a while. And then a part of it has been, but I feel like something kind of stuck where you're like, I do want to explore the faith of my people. Listening to some people on YouTube just kind of felt like I don't know. I should look into this between Jay Dyer, and I like Bobby's perspective and Primal Edge Health. Those people, just for some reason, I was like, you know what? I need to go back again. I'm sick of staying home. I'm sick of, I don't know, man. Just to be around people, no, man, I'm not a preacher. I'm not very good at talking about the religious stuff. But, man, if this is it, if this is truly it, then we are screwed. Even if you win, you lose, because your time on the top is very short, and somebody else will come along and knock you down. I don't know, man. Just something in the heart. Something in the heart, something in the soul just seeks truly something. So maybe that's why that desire for it never really went away. You can only do so much other stuff before something in your heart just seeks out for it. I don't know. I'm not explaining any of this well, but that's the only explanation I can give you. But you do what you want to do, man. We all got free will. All right, I saw a comment by Blas Koritnik. At least you have a job and a car. I don't have that. Otherwise, I struggle with similar challenges than you. Lost soul at 30 plus, being overweight, don't know what to do in pursuit in life, struggling to maintain meaningful and deep relationships with my family and people in general. I've fallen and stagnated in the last 10 years. It's just unbelievable. Yeah, I hear you. I mean, it's kind of this thing where, yeah, it kind of sucks when you have physical issues wrong, but another thing too, when there's like that mental dark stuff too, where maybe there's nothing quite wrong with you physically, but mentally, just that those truly dark times that, I've had during kind of like these rough moments where you just feel miserable and you can't sleep at all and you can't find any way to like lay down to not feel awful. You're almost like looking back at these moments where you were physically fine but mentally tortured, and like, I don't know what's worse, what's better. Would I go back to having that but just being physically okay? I don't know, because I would remember, I'm not going to go into it, just some very, very dark times. And I'm not going to I didn't start driving a car until I was 28. I didn't start trying to actually interact with human beings until, once again, 28, 29. That feeling of just being lost in your entire life and having to come to terms with the fact that, you've already waited long enough and nothing has come to you. You're not one of those people where you just wake up and one day right? Or you've always known from a young age of what you want to do. And that it truly now is that sort of, you now have to choose something and you don't know what, because it seems like there's so many different things. And what's the right thing? Is there a right thing? What's the best choice? So many, you go out and you ask, or you put yourself out on a platform like this, and there are so many voices from every different direction. Do this, do that. This is good. No, that's good. Why are you doing this? And you're already indecisive and you don't know and you're confused. And all it's doing is just adding even further uncertainty. And that's why it did reach that point in life where it's like, all right, well, clearly the feeling is not going to strike me. So now I just have to choose something. I'll choose a meme, coding. I'll start going to church. I'll just start something. Because clearly more waiting is not going to help. And man, I'm not going to do the whole, just stay positive, bro. Everything will work out and everything will certainly be fantastic. No, I don't have any, I'm not a person who's in a position to give any advice. The only thing, if I had to try to say to you, just trying to put myself in your situation as best as I can. I don't know your story ultimately. Just doing my best to guess from what you've written. If I were to wake up tomorrow, right, and be in that situation, I guess it would be go somewhere. I'd probably go somewhere where I could kind of take stock of everything as a whole, right? It has its place for some. This is like the bigger, broader thing before getting further down into the daily stuff. The first thing is like you got to take stock of the whole thing, where it's like you got to get on top of the mountain and look at your kingdom as a whole and like take stock of like, all right, what's going on? What's happening? What's it looking like? It's starting to fog up here, so it's that whole it's like that scene out of the Titanic, right? Sorry, I was trying to make a serious point here and my mind started wandering on something done. Paint me like one of your French girls. Sorry. All right, it was on a rant there, and I just was trying to get serious. Okay, so you go on top of the mountain, and when you look at things like that, inevitably, what the default thing is kind of to look at the past, right? To look at the past. How much you failed, how old you are, what you missed out on, what's now behind you. And it's that thing that you no longer have. It's the thing that you have no control over. It's everything in the past, everything that happened, didn't happen, what you missed out on, what you didn't do, what you failed on. And here is where you are. And then now you're like, what do you even do? I think it is so unbelievably critical. It's easier said than done, but you got to do it. And I'm struggling with that myself, but I mean, you really do now kind of have to forget about that, because it's over and done with. No matter how tragic it may feel, it is over and done with. And now, instead of looking backward, you have to look forward, but also obviously today. And just and wrap your mind. It's almost like you have to start getting into this both long-term and short-term thinking, but not backwards thinking. Like you've been, yes, the hour is late and you're getting older and this and that. Well, guess what? You may have wasted a whole bunch of your life, but you still got to live for a whole lot more. And as quick as time does go by, it's also very, very long. And so it really is now. And now you have to look at the future and this large chunk of time that is in front of you that you will have to go through that will go by. The past, everything behind you, that is over and done with, and so your gaze has to now be forward of like, well, look at this path in front of you. And so now what? Now what are you going to do? Because it's the only thing that you do have any control over, and it is, you take stock of your situation of what do you have to do, right? What do you want to do? What do you have to do? You have to start learning how to drive. I mean, what will that entail? You have to start looking for a job in whatever way you can. Start overcoming that, just, that whole like, okay, I have to look and then apply and go interview, and just the uncertainty and fear. And how do you start, is it something like, how do you start learning to drive? Is that something like a family member or something can help with? And also, for your own situation of like, what do you want to do? If it is a matter of choosing, it is because nothing's coming, right? Nothing's coming. And that more waiting is not going to suddenly make it come to you. You take stock of this situation and like, okay, here's where I'm at. This is where I need to and would like to get to. There's this long chunk of time in front of me. Nothing is guaranteed, but if you stay the same, if you don't do anything, it is guaranteed that nothing will certainly happen. You kind of have to start, it's not a hope or a cope. It's playing the wild card, right? I don't know how to explain that. Just with all the ups and downs of our modern day world, and how so many systems that are seemingly collapsing and being broken down, and just you having to play off of that energy of like, okay, well, normally in this situation, I would just give up, right? You're too old. You can't this, you can't that. But what if you just do the opposite and you actually try to reach towards something, even if it'll take a long time? Is it worth maybe finding out? I mean, you've already found out what the last 30, 40 years have been like. And if you have another 30, 40 more, maybe it's kind of time to start becoming a participant best you can. And so, but then all that is great, right? All that is great. And it's great. It's easy to get motivated, but then you have to put the thinking down to that daily, just kind of grind, day to day, week to week. What do you need to get done today? What little steps can you take today? You have to like wrap your mind around that there's not going to be a payoff for possibly a long time. Some things will be sooner, some things later. Maybe some things will never pan out, but I know this is all your typical self-help, blah, blah stuff, but it's all certainly true, right? You know, what do you need to get done? Some days will be great, right? You'll be able to take a big step forward. Other days, you've fallen. You're like a little baby animal falling out of their mother's womb, trying to get up on your legs, barely able to walk. But at the very least, you've fallen, at least crawled on your stomach forward a little bit. Was it a day where it seemed like all you could do was just at least not, go for a 20-minute walk and not completely cheat on your diet or whatever, just eating right, not going backwards, and at least did something and not drown yourself in the sauce, I don't know, or maybe you're studying towards something and you were like, oh yeah, I'm gonna study for 8 hours, and you felt so unbelievably miserable, whatever. I mean, I don't know. If you got really depressed and all that, and you're like, oh man, what's the point? So all you were able to do was an hour, and at the very least, you put some sort of foot forward. And periodically going back on the mountain and checking over your kingdom. I don't know, man, but it's tough, It's just having those big, broad visions is great, but then you got to just get down to that daily, boring stuff that doesn't feel like it's going anywhere, but that's kind of how you get anywhere, by doing that stuff, right? So, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know if any of that made sense. Like I said, it's not any advice. It's easier said than done. But if I was in your situation and I woke up tomorrow, I guess that's how I would approach it. Okay. Something from... Sorry, I'll try to get... I kind of didn't look at the comments too much. I noticed some stuff here and there, but I forgot to screenshot it, so maybe for next one. I feel like I missed some stuff that I wanted to go over. There was somebody that talked about... I forgot the username. I don't want to, but you know who you are. Or their wife, after some fertility issues, finally, it looks like they're having a kid, so... Congratulations, dude, but I'll read it better next time. There's something from Juiced Memorial. Yeah, man, stick to the one church. Even if you don't get to talk to many people while there, you may see them, some at the store or around, and perhaps we'll talk to them. Yeah, I mean, I've very much realized how small world. You'll definitely see people in random places that you're like, whoa. You're not even close to where that is, and yet you're here, so I hear you, man. I used to see people from church all the time while growing up, and as an adult at the store when I went to, and would talk to them without ever speaking to them in church. Another way to meet people in church may be to talk to the pastor and see if he needs help with the church or the cemetery if there is one. Yeah, there's something I want to explore at further, some of the... Not really interested in the Zoom stuff, but I'm kind of hoping maybe there's going to be some kind of in-person little events and stuff that would be nice to visit. And I probably should ask too, once I'm feeling more comfortable and feeling better, of like, hey, is there anything I can help with? I'm kind of a grug brain, but I don't know, do you need me to carry some boxes somewhere or something? You can meet other people who do that sort of thing. Also, adult religious education classes. Yes, I believe. I mean, that would be pretty cool too. Just hoping for in-person stuff, but if not, I may look at some of the Zoom stuff that they have. I know you said you'd been baptized, but what about communion, confession, confirmation? If they have confession and confirmation in the Orthodox religion, that is, yeah, like I said, I'm very, very not sure about any of that stuff. I believe that they do confession, but I think you have to like sign up or ask for it. I probably really should do that. It would probably be beneficial, especially talking about some stuff that I don't normally talk about. I mean, there's one thing in particular that I've never told anyone from my youth that I've mostly hidden away, and it's like in the back of your head that you've completely forgotten about. But let's just say that it was during a very, very dark time as a teenager. Some bad thoughts is all I'll say, that I've never told anyone and will never tell anyone on here. That might be a good thing somehow to have a confession for. Yeah. Also, I know how you feel about feeling like a failure of a son from time to time. I go through the same cycles too. It passes. I did have to do things. I did have to do things that anyone my age would have never thought they would. That, and I never abandoned my parents when they are in need. Neither do you. Well, good on you, man. I'm sorry to hear about whatever that stuff was. So both you and I are not failures. Well, I appreciate it. I mean, it's honestly hard not to feel that way. I'm sure everybody has their feelings at some point with that. Just wanting to honor your parents, make them proud. Something, right? Make up for all the failures, all the opportunities and whatever they gave you that you just squandered. Just to hopefully have that moment where they can look back and think like, oh, it was, I don't know. Just have a sense of like pride in you. I don't know how to describe it. Just like, hey, mom and dad, look, I didn't completely F up. And actually, even if it took me a long time, I finally did it. I did something. With the life you gave me, with the opportunities. Most people our age do nothing for their parents other than hit them up for money or dump their kids on them to have a good time. Yeah. And we'll do one more. So it says Spock the Light. George, I hope you read this. I come to this channel for the nuggets of truth and the ability to relate. Well, thank you. I don't feel like I have nuggets of truth, but I said I have a very, very difficult time with compliments, if that's the word. And I've had people in person just kind of like jokingly say, George, just accept the compliment. We like you. Like just at work, like, oh, all right. And I don't feel like I'm doing anything good, but I don't know if I'll ever get over that. This isn't some channel of a dude who has everything going for him telling me to simply just do it, brah. No, this is a channel of human problems, being tired of it, and trying to find the will to continue with an overwhelming sense of failure and hopelessness. If anything I miss that is left, it's the gym sessions. I found them motivational, but that is how it goes. Yeah, man, I definitely hear you. I don't feel too bad about it now, but yeah, when it was kind of obvious, like, okay, I clearly just screwed something up, and I gotta leave it alone. And I mean, forgot to mention this, I mean, my takeaway with recovery, just thinking about what's helped, what's not. My takeaway from recovery is that it's kind of this balancing. It's like this balancing thing of putting water into a cup and taking water out. Or putting money into a bank and taking money out. You can do things that add water to your cup, and you can do things that take water out of the cup. And obviously, the more that you can put into the cup and the less you can take out, the more it'll fill up and overflow and you actually recover. So when you're constantly in this state of, when you can't sleep, if you can't sleep, you're not going to recover from anything. When you're constantly aggravating something and you're not able to find that position where you can reduce aggravation, whatever it is, like it's just taking water out of the cup, and you can go into the negative where now you owe water or you owe to the bank, and how recovering can seemingly just take forever. But yeah, I miss the gym, or I should say the park. But my kind of plan is keep on doing what I'm doing. And since something seems to be working, and probably not going to be until April that I'll look at lifting, just to kind of give my just to maximize hopefully recovery and not re-injure anything. But it was the feeling of some sort of progress in something, and so you got enjoyment out of it, right? You got enjoyment out of it, and then having to give that up, it was pretty rough. For the biggest thing here is, even despite our health, we must push forward. Holding the line because of whatever reason only seems to drag us backwards. I think it's just that we are unfortunately people with a lot of problems and little capacity to solve them, as we are just tired trying to do what is easy and natural for what seems to be for everyone else. Yeah. How long did it take me to finally lose weight? It's just a thing that you should have done that long ago. And I know fitness is one of those things that people do tend to struggle with, but it is sort of funny how they go. And driving a car until you were 28. Oh, all that stuff that people in high school were freaking doing. And struggling with basic things that people just regularly do. But despite all that, needing to push forward either way, right? Just in the back of your head, hoping it's for naught. Right now, I have a new health problem. It's my eyes. Unpleasant fact that you don't want eye problems. There are more nerves in your eyes than on your entire skin. They wake me up in the night with horrible pain, and it makes me terrified to sleep, which, man, that once again, the sleep, you have my sympathies. I wish, the sleep, if you can't sleep, man, you're not going to recover from that. It's one thing to have pain, but anything that affects sleep, it truly does magnify things much worse, man. That sucks. For several nights, I wake up after a few hours in a panic, and then for several nights, nothing. I can't see properly as my vision is blurry and any light is blinding. I sit in my room in the morning, not eating until my eyes can tolerate anything. I had to go to a cornea specialist. They say it is genetic. I can't help but beat my head against the wall as I have now inherited S-word gene problems as if it wasn't bad enough. They say it's because my eyelids are scraping my eyes, causing abrasions, tearing a layer of it, and my eyes are refusing to heal. There is no way around it anymore, and I have to get surgery. They have to slice my eye, that is, force it to start healing and making the layers reattach themselves. With a tiny blade, and the only thing I get is drops put in my eye to numb it. Also, no, they can't knock me out for this. Jesus, man. I have to literally lay there while they cut my eye. I don't know how I'm going to do it. Anything done to my eyes freaks me out. Well, man, I will pray for you, brother. That sucks. And I don't want to, like, take the Lord's name in vain or anything, but Jesus Christ, man. God. And like you mentioned, man, the sleep problems, too, as if that wasn't bad enough. Well, man, I'm hoping you get through it in this dark time. Dark, miserable time, and you can be on a path once it's all over, on a path to recovery, and then look back and just that awful time that you had to get through somehow. I'm trying to keep up with my weights, but I find it hard to want to try. My health gets worse, and I keep saying when it gets better, I'll start, but that day never comes. I have other goals I am not following through on as well, but now every Sunday I come here and it feels like a challenge because you talk about your programming and how you are learning and doing more. Then I ask myself a question: what did you accomplish last week that you can start and I'm not very good at reading. And what can you do to start accomplishing something today? Keep trying and keep honoring your commitments, Picnic Man. I wish I could say I found success myself, but I'm still in the same situation, just trying to make something work. Well, man, like I said in the comment, that sucks, dude. Just stay positive. Everything will work out. But man, I'll be praying for you, brother. I hope you can just get through that as best as you can, and it finally starts leading to recovery, and you're able to sleep, and then you can start to do something, man. I don't know. As I said, it's just, even if it's just crawling on your stomach a little bit, I mean, maybe it's just bicep curls and triceps something, you know? Wow. That is... you think about your own problems, and, this is one of those things where, you read about other people's, and it's one of those things where, because of the internet, you're able to make these connections and hear from people and see other perspectives. And I know it's very, like, self-centered with all this, and I mean, the channel is George's Journal, but, wow, man. So I'm almost at a loss for words, and I don't want to do like, just do this, bro. But I hope I'm at the very least, man, I'm just hoping you can get through that as best as you can. I'm just having visions of, is it like Dead Space 2? Where they got that scene where he's like alive and they've got the needle going in his eye. Like, oh, jeez, man. Hopefully you get through it. At least it's some sort of recovery. You can start sleeping. It starts taking up less of that mental space, and you can start putting in more efforts towards the things that you actually want to do. I don't know, man. Maybe it's just you'll right now, at the very least, if the issue is with willpower and all that, maybe it's just going to be you'll have to just focus on getting good at bicep curls and triceps extensions, at the least something, not being able, maybe struggling with whatever it is you want to do, but maybe at the very least that'll be, will it come with weights, that'll have to be your crawling on the floor progress. I don't know what else you want to do, man, but I wish you luck. So, all right, well, it's been an hour of sitting. I mean, that area is kind of bothering me, but doesn't seem as bad. I said I'm taking my little victories where I get them. That was over an hour, so I'm going to go to the grocery store, get some flowers for my mom. I think probably eat a little bit. And, yeah, I've given myself the coding challenge, and I will hold myself accountable for that for next week. So on that note, folks, also because I'm starting to freeze since the car's been off, I wish you folks the best. And I will see you next Sunday, folks. Bye-bye.